All right, what's going on, everybody? You guys should be able to hear me now. Can I get a mic check in chat in either premium or on YouTube? All right, so let's get started. First thing that I'm watching is going to be meds. All right, so this came on the scanner. So let's take a look at what's running today. So I just took the screenshot about a minute ago from our Discord. Now here's the pre-market runners. We have PHGE up 222% with 11 million volume. We do have a PR. So right now I'm checking out meds with 781K and a PR. All right, it's up 38%. So I'm gonna check that out. Let's take a look. What are we seeing here? Okay, so we have a massive soak here, right? Some decent volume and then a massive, a run back up. Right, so this kind of area is where we have consolidation before a breakout, right? So this is what I'll be looking at. So let's just draw a line here for a rough estimate. Right, let's draw a line here for a rough estimate. And then we can go to the daily. Right, so let's look at that larger time frame. See where we think buyers are going to come in, shorts are going to cover, etc. So right off the bat, the first thing that I see is this key level 1068. This is where I think that shorts will cover, right? This level right here, right? When we come down, it's going to be like buyers stepping in. It's a key level, right? So we'll go to the 5-minute and see where that is on the daily, right? So where is that? So that is down here, right? Okay, that's down here. So we'll keep that up here, 1073. Although we haven't really had consolidation in that area, so we'll keep it up. But maybe it doesn't touch it there, right? So right now that rough estimate line 1130 that we did based off the consolidation is holding up. So let's go to the daily again and look for areas that we think longs might come in, right? So where shorts will cover and longs will come in. So obviously we have a nice level right here at 1110. Now the reason for that is, let me zoom in. We can see that this massive candle, right? We have a massive candle. As soon as it came to this level, it made a massive move to the upside all the way to 15. Now this tells me that this candle that we have marked out over here at 1075 aligns with this candle. So basically this is going to be our demand zone, right? We have a knife in this area and then it gets stopped, right? The knife gets stopped, selling pressure stops, and then buying pressure comes in. So this is basically our demand zone. This is what we're looking to add. Our price targets would be into 1319, right? Into that area where we have massive rejection, up into this level, right? Kind of that area. So we'll have that marked out red. And then that's kind of our thesis for today, right? And then we'll go based off intraday chart too. Once we see intraday kind of set up, maybe we might even take an entry off of 1190, right? These are just kind of the zones that we're watching, the ranges that we're watching, the range over here and the range over here. So we can see that as soon as we held this range, we grabbed liquidity twice in this range, right? And then made the move down. So maybe we grab some liquidity on this side and then make that massive move to the upside, right? So, but you guys see how liquidity works right here. Take a look. We have this lower wick, and then we have rejection into our daily key level that we just found, right? That we just marked out. So we have rejection into that. But one thing that you guys see is that it's a green volume candle. Why is it rejecting here? Well, one thing to note is that look at the volume on this candle. There really isn't much volume, right? But there's a massive move. Now, what does that tell us? That tells us that if on this little volume, we can have a massive move like that, on this much volume, we should have a move probably to like 16, right? All the way up here, but there isn't. So why is that? Now that is our sell indicator. That right there tells us that there's selling pressure going on, right? There's enough buyers for market makers to sell into. Does that make sense? There's enough buyers hitting the limits and there isn't making a move. That makes sense? It's getting trapped. And that was the liquidity grab right there into the sell zone and pulled it back, right? Same thing over here. Same level, massive buying pressure all the way into resistance. And that's where, we made that move down. Now, same thing to the downside. There's a lot of selling pressure into support. Just like we saw buying pressure into resistance, we made that move down. Well, we like to see selling pressure into support. Does that make sense? That means there's a soaker. That means there's someone buying it. If there's a big, you see that big candle? There's a move, right? There's a big move. Over here, massive selling pressure on the candle after, but no move. Actually, in fact, there was a soaker. So that tells us, even though the candle is red, this tells us that there's a lot of buyers coming in. This tells us that, hey, there's about to be a reversal coming in. Does that make sense? You guys understand the volume and liquidity right there, how they're grabbing liquidity. Anyway, let's move on. So we have PHGE, all right? So let's get into PHGE. So here's another top gainer. We're up 222% on this play on the day, right? So 11.6 volume. Now, one thing I don't like to do is trade overextended plays, right? But this one is okay. It's not that bad. This one's looking like we're consolidating nicely, right? We're making a nice base. We have some resistance up here, so let's mark that out. That area, right? That area right there is going to be resistance. We're going to have support into that wick. All right, so let's go to the 5 minute. Looks okay, right? We have, so this is kind of like, something we have so far. We have resistance into this area, and then we have support in this area. Now, what you want to see for a breakout trade right now, we're going to talk about the breakout trade because it is breaking out. And a lot of traders are going to be taking this trade. Personally, what I'm waiting for on PHGE right now, if I were to take it, would be a breakout. I want to see a candle close up into 89, okay? I want to see a candle close here. And I want to see a retest. I want to see a retest of this 85. Why is that? So this massive resistance zone, I want to see it become support, right? That's a nice candle close, right? But I'm still not taking it because I want to see it close higher. I want to see it go a little bit higher, So this could be setting up now for a breakout trade, right? It's holding up, it's consolidating, right? It's doing nice things. There you go. This could be a beautiful breakout trade now. And the reason for that is because it's holding the inner resistance level. There you go, right? It's touching, now it was holding that inner resistance level. So that tells me that, hey, last time it came to this area, it rejected massively. This time, it rejected just a little bit. Next time, we might get that breakout, right? The reason for that is because massive rejection, less rejection, and then, maybe that breakout. So that teaches us that the stronger, the more that you touch resistance, it doesn't mean it gets stronger. It means that it gets weaker. The more that you touch support, it doesn't mean that it gets stronger. It actually gets weaker. All right, so we'll be keeping eyes on this PHGE, see how it reacts into this zone. We do have some sellers coming in, but it's not that strong, right? If you look at the volume over here compared to the buying pressure, it's not that much. All right, does that make sense? So we'll go to the daily chart, kind of make a plan here. Okay, so on the daily chart, we don't really have too much noise going on. This support level aligns with kind of this demand zone, this supply zone earlier that we want to flip into supply, or we want this supply zone earlier that we want to flip into demand, right? So we'll turn this into our new demand zone. So we have that demand from the 5 minute now, and then we'll kind of have this level as where shorts are going to cover, right? So we'll keep that level there. And as far as resistance, we have that zone right here, which will extend out. Right? So kind of that, what we're using is that wick right here, the rejection right here, rejection right here. So once we break over this, the next resistance levels are kind of that. Rough estimates, right? Right there. Got some room on this thing. That makes sense, guys. We kind of made our plan here, right? So we're waiting for hopefully dips down to this area. That's overall picture. We're talking about ranges here. Now I live trade within the Discord, and that's where I go over, you know, consolidations and how we're trading those. But these are just kind of that ultimate ranges that we're looking at. That trading between the chop is harder, right? But once you break over 90, you're looking for a move to $1. Although there might be chop into that, your final PT is $1, right? And then 112 or whatever. All right, so this is the range that we have. You guys can mark it out or just come back to the stream later. What else do we have on the watch? We have, where'd it go? APM. Let's check that out. Okay, I like the way that it's setting up. We just had I think we just had news on this. Yeah, not too long ago. This is a fresh runner. About 30 minutes ago, this thing just started running. Okay, so we're going to be looking for levels here. Now, you guys can see that this big volume, right? We have massive volume, but not too much of a big move, right? Compared to this move right here on lower volume. So we have sellers coming in. That's what we see. And then right after that, we see liquidity grab over previous highs with massive selling volume, right? The most volume we've held on a day. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark that out as our selling volume. Now for buyers, we have accumulation in this area, right? We have accumulation before we made that massive move. So buyers just chill here. You know, they consolidate, they accumulate their shares, they get stop losses, hunts, you know, and then they make that move. So for buying pressure, for buyers, you want to see kind of this level hold, right? That makes sense. So this would be a nice area where you want to start buying. Where you see the hold of that, where you take your entry from 430 to 530. That's $1 move based off our entry that we've already had, right? Now what we want to look for is consolidation. So, or just, you know, watching the tape liquidity grab. So something that you see here is that there's a lower wick here, and then it comes down here. It breaks below this low, right? Grabs liquidity and gets back in trend. So I think that this APM right here is setting up for a nice trade, and that we are getting ready for a move back up probably to 525, right? We grabbed that liquidity below this low. Now we're you know, pretty much set up for that clean move to the upside, right? So that's what we're looking at on APM. What else do we have? NKGN. All right, so this thing's been running since early 4 a.m. All right, this thing's been running since early. So the thing about this, the 4 a.m. runners, is that liquidity typically gets dried up because they've already made their massive moves, right? They've already done everything they have. Now what you want to look for is areas where they're going to be grabbing liquidity again, or where shorts are going to be covering. And for me, that it's where shorts are going to cover, right? This was a previous high. This is where buyers had control until, and then shorts came in. But now we've broken over it. There used to be a lot of money here. Now it broke over, right? So now there's going to be new money here. It's going to flip. Old resistance is going to flip into new support. That's exactly what's happening. 140, 150 base, all the way to 170, right? Now, 140 support again. So we're going to be trying to look for 140, 135 area. We want to see a crack below 135. Maybe go to 130. What's our like level to watch? So we'll watch this area, right? We want to see a crack below 136, or just come towards 136. Maybe crack below, grab liquidity down to 132, reclaim 136, and then we can have that move to the upside, right? So that's our plan on NKGN. All right, put some takers in chat where you want to go over it. Now, let's see. What are you guys watching pre-market? Let me see. All right, so AISP, right? This thing's been running. I'm going over that because this thing's been running since yesterday, right? So obviously an uptrend, right? Very clear uptrend. Now, how are we going to play this uptrend? Well, we can kind of create an uptrend line. Let's see if we can get something rough going. Right there, right? Rough uptrend line right there. So what we'll do is we'll kind of wait for a dip down to this area and to open maybe like 750. See if it consolidates, makes that move down slowly, and then maybe a next leg right here, right? All right, so this is what we're setting up for AISP, is that uptrend line. Now also, what you want to look for along with uptrend lines is some support levels, right? Some support levels. So a beautiful support level obviously would be this level right here. All right. So the reason why I'm using this kind of bigger zone and not just this wick is that we have a previous high here as well. So maybe we start bouncing from this area 750 and then grab some liquidity at 727, right? Which is where support is, which is where we had that massive move, basically a massive demand zone, and then, you know, make that move to the upside. So this is what I'm looking on AISP. Hopefully we can set up off of this and get a nice trade opportunity into highs. All right. So CETX. So, okay, we have news. I'll keep it on watch. I'm not really want to trade, you know, low float stocks that have no news. I'm sorry, that have no volume. That's what I like to do. So I like to focus on, you know, high volume liquid stocks, and that's what is kind of my niche. So if CETX starts running and it goes on the volume scanners, you know, I'll play dips. I'll play dips based on my strategy, based on my edge. But right now, it's just not, you know, really my thing. TPST. Okay, so like similar again, right? Not much volume. Right, not much volume, but we can look at the daily chart, see how the overall daily picture is. So if I'm here taking a swing at this or like, you know, trying to go long, you're going to look at your levels, right? So we have level right here where we think shorts are going to cover, right? Where shorts are going to cover, we have this upper wick. So now we're going to mark that body out, right? Right there, we're going to mark that body out. And we can see that this is overall a pretty decent level. We grab liquidity below this level, make that move to the upside, grab liquidity, whatever, right? So if you are long on TPST, your zone would kind of be this area, right? You looking back, you have this where shorts cover and this where buyers come in, right? We have a reversal here, shorts cover here. So this is kind of your buyer's zone, 328 to 278. This is where you want to watch for buyers to step in and then reclaim 328. I did not go over IFBD. So OSHA. To anyone who isn't in the Discord, I just want to say you're missing out. We crushed the crap out of OSHA yesterday. We slayed this thing like 7-8 different times. It was insane. Every single trade, I did a trade recap on Twitter too. You guys can go check that out. But OSHA, let's check it out. What we're doing today. All right, so okay. So we're gonna look for previous highs to become, you know, support as well. So we have a nice high here, right, and then a breakthrough of the high. So there's going to be leftover orders here, right? And what proves my point is that we came back into this level, grab liquidity again, and then made that move, right? So bust through like that tells me massive move, but there's still orders within this pop. So we're going to come back to this previous high, okay? So we're going to look at that previous high, mark that out, and we're going to look for a dip on OSHA back into 530 to 550. That makes sense? It's pretty clear, right? What we're looking for. Leftover orders, demand zone, all the way to the upside. We wait for a dip into this 550 to 530 area, and then we take that trade. That makes sense, guys? IFBD. So low float here. I'm pretty sure it's a nice low float. What we'll look for, let's go to the daily. here, 670. Okay, so overall, this level on IFBD results in a massive move. All right, so if we can make IFBD can be a real squeezer today based off the daily chart. Right, so we want to see where our short's going to cover. Where our short's going to cover and longs come in. So shorts cover on this wick, right? Inside of this wick, that's where shorts cover. We have buyers kind of in this area, right? This lower wick right here, right? Just in a rough estimate, this lower wick tells me that, hey, grab liquidity, you know, hit some stop losses, and then boom, massive move to the upside. This is the candle that caused that move, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at on IFBD. Boom, we're inside that zone right now, right? So you guys can see that same 624 level that we were talking about for liquidity, we grabbed below it, right? And then we made that move to the upside. So the thesis remains the same. Now we're going to kind of look for a base over 680, right? And then for a move to, you know, maybe even new high day, right? Because there's so much room on the daily chart. There's so much room. You guys see that? I mean, come on, look at that. So doesn't mean that we're gonna go back up to 50 or even 20 or whatever, right? But it just tells me that, hey, there's a lot of range and potential on the stock. So, you know, keep eyes on it. Make sure that you're watching this. Sure thing. Any other questions? Otherwise, I will go into the Discord now and hop in. What questions? What are we thinking? I think we can go over. What's something that you guys struggle with? What's something that you guys struggle with as traders? Right? So trading this, right? There's a lot of people trying to trade this, but they can't. So what are you guys struggling with in trading overall? What's the biggest thing? Let me know in chat. All right, so conviction on your trades. How do you gain conviction on your trades? Well, if you have a system and you wait for your trades to come to you and you play with small size, you will let that build up, right? You will let that size build up. You will let that confidence build up. If you have small wins off of, you know, your strategy, you gain confidence. Now, if you want to gain more confidence, stop taking those stupid trades that don't fit in the system. The only reason why you don't have confidence, for example, for me, I have a system, right? And if I take trades that don't follow into that system, it messes with my confidence that, hey, well, I took a loss here now, and then now I'm like, oh, well, should I believe in myself? Well, the reality is I didn't follow my system, and subconsciously, I think I'm not a good trader. Subconsciously, it affects my confidence, my conviction, and my plays, right? But if I follow a system, if I have XYZ, and I only follow that every single time, and I know that in the next 100 trades, the next 1,000 trades that I take, I will be profitable, then you have conviction in your trades. You'll be able to hold on to them. You'll be able to hit your price target. But that only comes with back testing. If you're actually taking time to, after hours, to, you know, actually study your trades. That's what I still do every single day, even after becoming profitable. Finding the watch list. Okay. Oh, struggle with finding the watch list. Well, now you have this stream. You have the Discord, in which I go over every night, or sorry, every day, and what we're watching. I'm live every single day. I'm about to go on live right after, for the next 2-3 hours, and just kind of creating a watch list with y'all, teaching y'all what to do. And then we also have this top gainer list inside our Discord, right? So you guys can create a watch list based off of this. Exactly what I did. I used these levels, or I used these tickers, made a watch list, and now, you know, that's what I'm going to be using. And that's inside the Discord. With risk management, well, if you know your entries, then you're gonna know what you're risking, right? You can't just, like, for example, let's get rid of that. If I'm looking at IFBD, I see it on the run up here at 850. I'm like, well, okay, you're talking to yourself. You're like, well, I could just get a trade here, maybe make $100. Well, the reality of the situation is it's breaking hive day, right? You're buying a bad trade. You should be buying the dips. You're buying a bad trade. You don't have a plan. You're just trying to make quick money. You're focused on the money rather than actually having a good trade and building good habits. And that right there is what will kill you. That right there is what will kill risk management, and that right there is what will prevent you from being a profitable trader. You can't focus on making $100 in this situation. That's a bad trade. Even though you might make that $100, you're building a bad habit. Make sense? So you want to have a plan, like we did in pre-market. We're creating a plan, right? So let's look at this. Let's try to create a fake plan, okay? We have this demand zone, okay? Next time it comes down to this level, I'm going to watch how the volume sets up. And then my price target based off of this is going to be this first rejection, okay? That's our plan. That's our quick plan. So I'm going to watch consolidation, and my final stop losses, my stop, or my final level where I stop watching it is kind of like right here. That's kind of what I stop watching it, okay? So now what we're going to do is, okay, boom, stretch that out, okay? Okay, now, next time it comes down to this level, I'm watching it, okay? Boom, okay, let's see how we did. Okay, boom, now it's in this zone. Now I'm watching it. So we have a lot of selling pressure. We have some accumulation. We have high selling pressure against this upper wick, which is our zone, which I don't like that much off the bat. Okay, boom, come down. Now we're gonna wait for consolidation here, right? I don't really see any buying pressure in this wick. All right, so we'll give it a few minutes. We see this next candle not really looking too good, right? Now, no buyer momentum. Seller momentum isn't strong. Look at the size of the bodies, right? Sellers are in control. Buyers not really in control. Sellers are in control. Buyers not in control. No size of the candle, right? Boom, we come down. Okay. All right, now we start to see a reversal. Boom, right off that bottom. Didn't take that entry, but that tells us, hey, buyers are still present. Now we're going to be focusing on dips. That makes sense? So you want to see consolidation within this zone, right? You want to see these levels hold, and then you want to start accumulating trades. This is the plan that we had, right? This is the plan that we had. And when it comes down here, boom, you like that. Nice risk area, right? You have a clear risk. If I'm taking, all right, this is amazing. If I'm taking a trade at here, 785, taking this, we didn't know the bottom, right? But next time we take this trade at 780, 760, 775, what's our stop loss? What's our stop loss? Where's the long position thing? Okay. Take an entry here. Stop loss under this previous low. So, boom. Right there, previous low right here. Right, we'll use that as our stop loss. Okay, right under there, so like right under 750, even with slippage. Our PT is back up to this 850. So what's our risk to reward trade right there? 3.5, okay? 3.5. It busts through, but you took a trade based off 3.5 R. That makes sense? It's 3.5 R right there. It's a decent trade, right? Now it's not holding up, but overall that's the concept, right? That's how you take good trades. You buy it when it seems risky to you, because we want to buy it when we think it's not risky, right? We think it's not risky up here, when in reality the real risk is up here, because you don't even have a stop loss defined. You can have slippage like that, right? But over here it's easier to manage your trade, to control your trade, to control your emotions, and play with the plan. That makes sense? Anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this stream. We will be putting the link here in chat for Market Masters. If you guys want to come here live trade with me, we have a full-on course that you can that you get as soon as you join Market Masters. You get a full-on course, everything that you need, all of my trade ideas. I'm about to hop on live, And let's get to it. I will see you guys on Friday on YouTube stream, and I'll see you guys in the next 5 minutes in our Discord. Peace out.